Sasha Banks going to wrestle in Japan? Lacey Evans is mad at the internet again. And Level Up Lauren gives us her top 5 pro wrestlers in the industry. All that and more on this week's Casual Wrestling Weekly.
Notorious. Big it up, big it up. Yeah. Hear in my voice. Yeah. Here we go, go. Yeah. Here we go, go.
What is up, everybody? It is Friday, December 9th. This is the Casual Wrestling Weekly Show. Just to jump right in, let everybody know we got about a 45-minute hard out, so we'll get through as much as we can, as fast as we can here today, but we got things to do. The kids can't get home from school on their own. They still haven't figured it out in elementary school, how to just get home on their own. I guess they can't drive. In 2022, I'm not letting them walk home.
Nope.
So we have to leave to go get the children in about 45 minutes. That should be plenty of time. There's not too much to talk about today. Before we jump into this, let me remind you guys that we are on patreon.com/the casual wrestling show. I'm not going to get into all the Patreon producers. You guys know who you are. We'll talk about you guys on Monday. Let's get into this, Lauren. Let's jump right into it. So earlier this week, I dropped my top 5 current pro wrestlers.
Yes.
And so I wanted to start the show by, I don't know that I could name your top 5. I don't know that you could officially name your top 5 pro wrestlers right now.
That are currently in there?
Yeah, so I want to kind of work through this list with you to try and figure out who are your top 5. So, I mean, do you have any framework to start with?
I mean, I have a couple that I already have in mind.
So if you throw out who
Becca Lynch.
Okay, Becky Lynch is one. Who else do you have? Are they're not all females, right?
No.
Do I need to pull up a roster so we can look at it here?
Riddle used to be on my top 5, but he hasn't been in there a lot.
Yeah, I can see how he fell out.
Sami Zayn is my number 2.
Okay, hold on, because Sammy didn't make my list, and now I might be a little jealous of your list.
I love him.
Okay, so you have Becky Lynch, and you have Sami Zayn.
Yep.
You don't want to hear my list first, do you?
I heard it, but I don't want you to influence me.
Okay, so no influence. We'll do mine afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so who else? So you've got Becky Lynch. You've got Sami Zayn. 2 solid choices.
Is this AEW and WWE?
Yeah. I mean, this is just your favorite pro wrestlers.
Britt Baker. I love
Britt Baker. Interesting. Okay. See, I'm with you on that too. And she made my top 5 list of AEW wrestlers, not my top 5 list.
No, I like her. I enjoy watching her, and I don't really care where she's at.
I'm not mad at the choice.
When she speaks, I want to listen.
I'm not mad at your choice then.
Let's see.
I pulled up a roster. We may not need it. So you wait, Britt Baker, Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn.
Yes.
That means you got 2 spots left.
Brock Lesnar.
Really?
I love Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Remember I told you I was so sad when him and Roman went against each other?
Yeah.
And Roman would possibly be my 5th.
Okay.
But I feel like that's cliche.
Okay.
So
you're going too big time there, too marquee.
My 5th one would probably be, I'm torn between a guy and a girl.
Okay.
Used to be Alexa Bliss, but she's kind of like
I agree.
out of it.
So that was the funny thing
Bianca
about
Belair, but she's kind of boring to me right now. It's actually Bayley.
Interesting. Bayley,
I really
Becky
like
Lynch, Britt Baker. So a lot of personality on your list.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar and Sami Zayn. I like it. I'm not mad.
Those are my favorite wrestlers.
That's interesting. I could have seen that going other ways, but that's the funny thing about top 5 lists to me, that I think, like, you know, people always, your list changes. Yeah. I mean, I think
it's like what their
month.
stories are and what's going on. And like personality is a big thing to me, because wrestling skills are important to me because I need to believe what they're doing, but they don't have to be like the most technical wrestler. I just want to be entertained.
That's the casual part of this show, right? Is that we don't focus on X and O. I don't care about how many flips, how many special, jump moves you can do, what your technical prowess is. We more care about, are you fucking entertaining? Do I turn on? And that's why Britt Baker is a solid choice on your list. She's not on my list. And now I look at my list and my list feels like limp when I look at it. So I'm with you on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch overtook Bianca Belair on my list.
Yes.
And I rode hard for the last year for Bianca Belair, but I just don't think, as a front runner, she's not interesting.
Because she has, and people may not like it, she's like Miss Positivity and that's it. I don't see very many different types of like character changes. Does that make sense? Like she has one character and that's
she has one speed. She has one speed, and that speed best suits being an underdog.
Yes,
she works much better, even though she
I still like her.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not. This is not a knock on her. Well, I mean, I
Becky
guess
Lynch
it
has
is.
I kind of never know what I'm going to get.
Every time Becky comes back, and this is her and Seth Rollins, there's a nuance of new character development that kind of goes, oh, this is intriguing. There's a subtle difference to this character.
Yes.
And so it was
still them.
You had the man, right?
Yeah.
Which was hugely over with the crowd. Then she came back as big time Bex and did the whole heel thing. And now I'm hearing people call her the man of the people.
Oh, I have.
Because she's in the crowd all the time.
I like it.
Which makes it works. So like I'm with you on Becky Lynch. I think she's proven to be the most important woman in the WWE roster right now. Until Charlotte come back for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
I have Kevin Owens.
You love him. You've always loved him.
Which to me is an interchangeable choice with your Brock Lesnar. It's pick your big tough guy.
That's my
Roman
UFC
Reigns.
coming out. That's where my love for him comes from.
I get it. I get Brock Lesnar, especially this last run that we got of like Cowboy Brock and when his personality finally kind of shined through. It definitely, I have no problems with that. But I think that like everybody on their list has that one kind of like big, gluty, like it's either Roman, it's either Kevin Owens, it's either Brock Lesnar. It's one just
Drew
big,
McIntyre.
massive, Drew McIntyre. It's the gladiator of wrestlers that you go, that's somebody I can get behind.
Yes, sir.
Then I have Gunther.
That's a good one, yeah.
And Gunther is just because I think he snuck up on me this year. I asked people, what am I supposed to like about Gunther? Went back and watched the matches. Still, it didn't resonate with me. And then he came onto the main roster scene and he beat the shit out of Sheamus. And I was like, I get it.
Yeah, he's a good presence.
I understand what's going on with Gunther. My like weird one is Shotzi.
I could see that.
And I
good
get
personality.
like, and it's 100% personality. It's 100% like potential.
Yeah.
I see so much potential. I keep saying she's a mix between Paige and Sasha Banks. If she can just tie it all together, and if the fucking IWC would shut up for 5 minutes and let her develop. Now I get it. She's been a little abrasive on Twitter, and you kind of get what you get. If you go out there and you rub people the wrong way, they're gonna come back and attack you. But I see so much potential in Shotzi, and I like in the interviews I've seen, it seems like Shotzi is Shotzi.
I agree, and I like that.
It's not. It's her just dialed up to 11, and I think that there's potential there. And the other one was Tommaso Ciampa.
That's an interesting one.
Well, you have to watch the documentary. You have to. That one goes deep. Like there's levels to.
I could understand that. I like to know backstories of people, and that's why I fall in love with them.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like perseverance and things like that I fall into when I kind of understand somebody and see what they've been through and how they got to where they are, and then to see like, you know, him come in and actually embrace the character with the Miz and somebody who I thought couldn't have gotten over that way in kind of a comedy role. He took the card he was dealt, did good. He's injured. He's going to be gone. Hopefully he comes back and picks up where he left off.
Yeah. I
could interchange that because he's injured, but those were the 5 that I felt most passionate about when I was writing down that list.
All right.
Speaking of Becky Lynch, because we both had Becky Lynch on our list. Triple H has been teasing multiple different matches for Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
We've now seen her stare down Bianca Belair.
Yes.
And we've seen her stare down Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Which of those 2 matches to you is a more interesting choice as a big feud in the next 3 months?
2 different things, right? Believability would be Bianca Belair.
So this is funny. The believability thing. Because you're going off size. But why? So what is this misconception that Becky Lynch is small? She's thin.
Yeah.
But she's tall.
How tall is she?
She's as tall as Bianca and Rhea. Let me look it up.
Is it because she's so skinny?
I don't know what it is because
she
I've
definitely
always
looks healthier. I mean, not to say that she wasn't healthy, but like
I know what you
she
mean.
looks
She's
a little
filled out
more
a little
muscular
bit.
and stuff like that since she came back. But I just see like Rhea as like, I don't want to say a mammoth of a man. She's a very
they have bodybuilders.
domineering
They have muscles.
look, I guess.
let's see, Becky Lynch's height here.
But because they build Rhea up to be able to beat men.
So Becky's
in my
5'6".
mind. So, okay. And how tall is Rhea?
Let's see. And I know when I say same height, that's.
But yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, if she's supposed to be this big, strong woman that can fight men.
5'7".
Okay, but then this itty bitty girl, which, and I'm saying by size.
But you keep saying itty bitty, but I think that's the misconception with Becky Lynch. And I
can come in and fuck her up.
In my head.
Then it destroys Rhea Ripley to me altogether.
But see, I disagree because I think that that's a misconception. That this idea. Okay, so do you know who John Jones is?
Yes.
The UFC fighter.
Yeah.
He is not as big as Francis Ngannou in the heavyweights, but they're all. The prediction is he's going to go in there and beat the shit out of all of them because of technique, because of skill level.
Guess that's true.
So this idea that in pro wrestling, I'm the biggest advocate for size, but now we can't go off of you can't go overboard and say that Brock Lesnar, because he's bigger, nobody can ever beat Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I get that. But like,
so wait with me here. With Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, this misconception that Becky is so much smaller than these people is non-existent.
My second part was, now for entertainment value, I would definitely choose Becky. I think that would be more interesting in my mind.
I don't know. So the way I kind of have it pinned down in my head is I think Bianca needs Ripley more than Becky needs Ripley. And that's where I draw my comparison. Sure, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley will be entertaining. They're both pretty good on a microphone, so that works. But I think that Bianca Belair needs a bad guy more than Becky Lynch does. Becky Lynch and Bayley will work. Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss would work. Becky Lynch and a new Asuka would work, like the new Asuka character that they're teasing. So that works on every level. I think that they have to be very careful when they book Bianca Belair up to WrestleMania, especially if they're trying to put her into a program with Charlotte. She needs some spotlight. She needs something, because this last 3 months of putting her
with that group
in the clusterfuck of a group that didn't really exist, and a group that's obviously now splintering off, that didn't do anything to help her character out.
No.
So if you're asking me what's more interesting, I think it's Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, because I think they both need each other.
Okay.
But I also think that that's a good WrestleMania match, whereas I think Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley can work pre-WrestleMania, because number one, Becky and Seth have this magic power where they can lose matches and still come out of that thing feeling more important, just because the way they reinvent their character, they come up with an excuse.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
So yeah, I'll go there.
All right.
I saw this question on Twitter. Somebody asked, and I wanted to bring it up to you because I thought it would be interesting to get your answer. And that is, if you could change one thing about pro wrestling to improve it for you, what is something you would change inside the business, or just inside the experience? It doesn't have to be the business. Just
I would bring back, what's the word for them? Like where they do like the backstage videos and stuff like that, where they have like segments. I remember one time we watched something where it was like they were fighting in a grocery store, and you told me that there was a whole story that went along with it.
So you're talking about like offset backstage scenes. Like,
yes, like they do in NXT.
And they every so often they tease them. They did like remember the 24/7, they were at the bar for a while.
Yeah.
I get it. You want more of
intricate stories.
I like that. So, okay. So I went and I wrote like a list, and then I'll talk to you about each one, and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
So I said finishing moves, and this was a big theme of this week for me on the Daily Show. But finishing moves are a problem. When I used to watch wrestling as a kid, everybody had this one move that when they hit it, you knew the match was over, right? Stone Cold Stunner, that's it. Rock bottom, people's elbow, that's it. Kurt Angle locks in the ankle lock, that's it. It's over. And I think what's funny is and we could play this game next week if you want. I could name you wrestlers. Like, what is Angelo Dawkins' finisher? I know you listen to the show, but
I don't remember.
It's Spinebuster 19.
How the fuck would I know that?
That's what I'm saying. It's generic. It's a spine buster.
Yeah.
But like, how lazy is it of WWE not to give Angelo Dawkins a move?
Watching that the match with The Rock, and you're like, he's doing the people's elbow, and I was like, what the fuck is
You had
this?
never seen the people's elbow, and you were like, what is this Broadway production of a finishing move?
But
And
that's awesome. I like the theatricalness.
That's what made wrestling. My camera keeps going off. I'll just turn it off and on. But
So, I mean, yeah, I agree with that 100%. It makes it exciting. Like, I know Bianca Belair has the kiss of death.
yeah.
And you kind of know that had never been beat before. I don't know now if it has ever, but I knew at the time when she talked to us, she had said that. Right,
Yeah, and like Baron Corbin has a finishing move that's very protected, but like a lot of people, I don't even know. So I brought up Montez Ford, and someone was like, "Well, it's the frog splash." I was like, yeah,
fuck is a frog splash?
That's the one where they jump and they move their arms and then they land on top of somebody. But it's the same thing that Dominic Mysterio uses. It's way overused for somebody as talented as Montez Ford.
Make something that's yours and
exactly.
And 100%.
I mean, something that only Montez could do would be nice. I said also consistency in the booking, right? I hate this idea that they treat us like we're stupid. Mm-hmm. It's not 3 weeks ago that Triple H is telling us that Riddle and Kevin Owens hate each other.
Yeah.
Yet on television this week, they're booked together.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. That you kind of don't know what's going on. And like, does anything really matter then if it can just change in a second?
Yeah, it's consistency to me. It's like, it's this guy's good this week, then he's gone next week. We're supposed to believe that the Viking, Raiders are a big deal, and then they're gone for 2 weeks. And then they come back. Consistency in booking. It's guys like Madcap Moss not being booked on a weekly basis, if not just for a quick 5-minute match that lets us know that they're relevant and builds them up as a character. And that's why I say that NXT is a functioning tool that they don't use well. Guys should rotate. I don't think it should be looked at as a demotion when a guy goes down or a girl goes down to NXT and builds up some momentum to then kind of get slingshotted back up to the main roster to see if that character works, right? Madcap Moss is somebody I use as an example because right now he's in booking purgatory.
Yeah.
What can you really do? Like, you can throw him into a random feud, but as long as we've known Madcap Moss, we don't really know anything about Madcap Moss. What's his finishing move?
I have no idea.
What's his song sound like?
I want to know where his suspenders went.
Well, so he changed characters. This camera is
That's what I want to know.
He changed characters. He came back as more serious. All right, we're back after some technical difficulties there. This camera's being a nightmare today. So we were talking about Madcap Moss. And we were talking about not knowing what his finisher was or not knowing. Do you know what his theme song is?
No.
Generic theme song like number 7.
Yeah.
So like, to me, this consistent booking of like getting people over, not just in like what it is like flash in the pan booking. If something works and the crowd reacts, then they overreact and go, all right, push that. Instead of taking the time to like go, let's give Madcap 5 minutes every week. Let's sell us on his finisher. Let's package him with a good song, because I think, to me, Madcap Moss is the most underutilized wrestler in WWE.
Yeah.
I think he has all the intangibles.
The last I remember him was that weird interaction he had with Emma.
He's still doing that, and that's fine, and we'll probably get more of that tonight. Yeah. But why are we supposed to care about that?
I don't know.
It's
forgettable.
For the last 3 months, he's been almost non-existent or just used in kind of a jobbing role.
Yeah.
When I think that he could be a big deal. I touched on better theme songs. So WWE has a problem with theme songs right now. What they do is they use like a real catchy first 5 seconds, and then that's it. Then it's just generic guitar loop.
Yes.
They're going to have to figure out how to make those songs more iconic long term. Like, I listened to LA Nights the other day, and it starts off very California, and then it gets very generic. And then there's a part about a minute into the song that's extremely catchy, but we never get there with LA Night. So we never hear that.
Like Sasha Banks' song to me was one of the best wrestling songs far as like memorability.
Those songs came from a different producer. We're talking about this new Def Rebel.
No, I agree. But that is the type of song that I think you need, not necessarily in that genre, but the ability to just
go even farther back than that.
Sasha Banks.
Simple works. Like Kane was just a organ sound, or Stone Cold, the glass breaking.
The Undertaker.
And Undertaker. The gongs. It's very themed. Well, that's my last nice transition there. I appreciate your transition into, we need more gimmicky gimmicks.
Okay.
Like he was an Undertaker. Kane was a guy like a guy who was burned. Mankind. I understand that you can ground 50% of wrestling in these are real people. Let's make them look like UFC fighters. Let's sell them on their skill. That's fine, but you still need more Bray Wyatts.
Yes, 100%.
You need, like, for every time they go gimmicks don't work, you point back to Bray Wyatt and you go, then why the fuck does everybody like the fact that he's going to play 6 different characters possibly?
Yeah.
But then if you look on like Monday Night Raw, is there any gimmick? Like, is there any legitimate like gimmick? Like, that's why I appreciate Luchasaurus even.
I agree. I mean, not
as goofy as that gimmick
none
is.
of them that are Philly tapped into like what they could be.
No. Austin Theory was the last kind of like hardcore gimmicky douchebag heel, and they stripped him of that. But outside of that, nobody has a gimmick. And like, number one, kids fucking buy into that shit. How are we supposed to go buy Halloween costumes of WWE superstars right now?
You're not.
Like you what?
There
You
aren't
just
any.
you put on a fake beard and call yourself Austin Theory?
Yeah.
And act grumpy? Like there aren't characters anymore. Rey Mysterio has a mask. Mm-hmm. And that you know, I get that's not even a
Hulk Hogan
gimmick.
had the whole look. I mean, they still do costumes like him.
Hulk Hogan dyed his beard and his kept a little bit of hair because it was iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It was a gimmick. And we don't have that anymore. And I think that's lacking. And I think wrestling would improve.
A mullet for Dominic Mysterio.
The Viking Raiders. That's one.
Yes.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works. We know they're not real Vikings, but it's fun for wrestling.
I agree.
We go to RCW and there's a
I
set
love
of
the
Vikings.
Vikings.
Man,
And there's like a cat girl.
are they not the most loved though?
Yes.
But it's not because of anything other than they're Vikings and they come out and they have clubs and sticks.
They like, what's that word? Like they get into it. They're
like in character.
there we go. They're in character.
Those motherfuckers smell like Vikings.
Yeah, a little bit.
They were
But
stinky.
they're very nice though.
Yeah, very nice.
Kids.
But
they're
I'm
nice
saying,
to kids. They were mean to the adults.
but they're doing their job.
I liked it.
They're doing their job. But I think we need more gimmicky gimmicks in wrestling. I had another question here. If you could bring back one superstar to WWE who's left, who would it be?
Now, when you say
have
left,
two.
do you mean like left WWE or just like is no longer in the WWE?
Anything. They could die. They could have died. They could have moved to a different company. They could not be
it's
wrestling anymore.
Cliche, but I'd like to see The Rock because I'd like to actually see him wrestle. I'd like to be able to experience it.
Yeah, to me though, you're not getting. So when The Rock came back last time, because this is not the first Rock comeback. The Rock came back to fight John Cena. It's not the real. You're getting like.
I want like The Rock though from when he was The Rock.
But you'll never get that. You'll never get that. Was a flat. You know that
so
was
you're saying
a
somebody
moment
that
in
could,
time.
but you said somebody who was gone or dead. So like,
No, I mean just somebody who. And I'm not. That's okay. That's your choice. I'm just explaining to you. Like I think you can get deeper than that.
well, I don't have that much of an experience, so I wouldn't know.
I'll throw a name
Okay,
out.
throw me a
Enzo
name.
Amore.
Oh, I love Enzo Amore.
Exactly.
Okay, that's who I want back.
Exactly.
I love him. I tell you that all the time.
Exactly. He would fit so well. If he just wasn't a little bit of a locker room problem, he would be awesome.
Just shut your mouth in the back.
I mean, just
Enzo,
get along, right?
Shut your fucking mouth.
Just get along. You thrived in the Triple H
Bada bing,
NXT.
bada boom.
Realest in the room.
loved
How
him.
you doing?
I just wanted to watch him because he was like exciting.
He was energy. So he was like when people talk about me as like you create a wrestler. Besides his size, he was a little undersized, but I can overlook that when you have enough. He was the epitome of what I think a wrestler has to be to hit that top level, especially undersized, right?
Yeah.
So much personality, so much energy. Like
I
you
never
knew the
saw
music.
him as little, even though I knew he was little because his personality was so big.
well,
that,
and what they did.
and they put Big Cass with him.
There it is. So what happens is when you have a guy who's slightly undersized
Yeah.
and you want to really get him over and sell him, you package him with a really big guy because he gets to be the kind of wiry one, and then there's the muscle behind him that protects him.
And Big Cass is in AEW, right?
They changed his name to Big Bill.
Well, I know that, but I
He's
saw him
Big
the other
Bill.
day, and it was just
He's
like
wasted.
eh.
He's wasted.
That's what I thought. That's
If
the first thing I
he's
thought.
not standing next to Enzo Amore, Big Cass
Boring.
is fucking wasted. 100%. If I was Triple H, I don't know what Big Cass's contract is in AEW, but I would be grabbing Big Cass. I would be re-signing Enzo Amore, and I would package them up with Carmella once again.
Yeah.
And let that be a thing that the fans love, like the New Day.
yeah.
They're like the white people's New Day. I mean, it's just all energy, all screaming.
Hashtag bring back Enzo.
Yeah, I just think he's such a problem in the locker room. And
Well,
so many
I
people
think that
dislike
then
him.
like you have that adult talk and you say like, look, motherfucker,
But so here's the shit.
you don't
I
shut your fucking mouth.
And I don't think that this is the same argument with CM Punk that I'm gonna hit you with. I don't think it's not management. I think Triple H, the problem is everybody's like, Triple H doesn't want CM Punk back. I don't think Triple H really gives a fuck. Like, I think Triple H could have a conversation with CM Punk and go, are you going to shut up? Are you going to do your job? Are we going to get along and make money? And I think he could go, sure. The problem with bringing these people back are the like mid-card people who are butthurt. It's
like,
the
why
locker
are you
room.
bringing
Yeah,
him
it's
back?
the locker room. It's the people who think they deserve the spot.
But then why don't they feel that about every new person that's come back? Though?
Because so it's a boys club, right? Enzo ruffles feathers because Enzo gets attention. Same with CM Punk, right? The what do they call them? The Young Bucks, they don't have a problem with every new wrestler because if they come in and they fall in line, cool, welcome to the club. But if you come in and do it your way, then it's an issue. That's why they don't like you. And that exists in both companies. Don't get me twisted.
I mean,
like,
I'm sure, yes.
If Enzo came back or CM Punk came back, there's going to be this weird middle group of the superstars don't ever care, right? Because the superstars, they're never Roman's not worried about his spot. Drew McIntyre's not worried about spot. It's the guys fighting for that middle piece of card that go, we don't want another person who jumps the line and gets put into that like lower upper, main event. Yeah. My other one was Damian Sandow. Do you remember Damian Sandow? He was the Miz's stunt double.
Yes. Yes, the one who wore the glasses. He was
Yes.
just kind of quiet. Yes. I don't actually remember him wrestling, but I just thought he was funny.
So, but even if you go back further, his original gimmick was the intellectual savior of the masses. And he would come out and he would have like a glass of wine. He was in a robe and he would like ask real philosophical questions and then tell the crowd. He was Damian Sandow, another guy who was just misused. Vince McMahon had no clue what to do with him. He was so over with the crowd and it was like, we can't figure out how to book this to make this work.
I'll have to go back and watch it then.
All right, so we are pushing time here. Let's jump into we're going to announce the nominees for the Casual Wrestling Awards, the Notorious Casual Wrestling Awards. So I've explained this on the show, but I'll explain it to you again.
Okay.
Your vote is going to count for 25%.
Okay.
My vote is going to count for 25%. So me and you make up 50% of the voting. I'm going to place some polls on.
So are we voting right now, me and you?
No.
Okay.
No, we're just announcing.
Let's go.
We're just announcing the nominations, the nominees.
Okay.
The fans, the listeners, they're going to get 25%. We'll put a YouTube poll and a Spotify poll, and then we'll combine them and see who wins that. And then I'm going to create like a subcommittee, like Jay Knows Wrestling, some of those people.
Some content creators.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to them and let them place their votes, and they'll count for 25%. That way we get what I feel is an actual casual wrestling vote that represents this show. So I got 7 categories because I see some of these people, they do like 27 categories.
Yeah,
I'm not digging. As a casual wrestling show, I think these are the categories that actually matter to casual fans. Number 1, newcomer of the year.
Okay.
So we have Wheeler Yuta, Jade Cargill, Raquel Rodriguez, Tony Storm, Solo Sikoa, and Daniel Garcia.
Ooh, those are good.
You are allowed to write in an other because I know that my lists are going to be very biased towards me. So if there's somebody that people want to write in, you write it in and you add it to that list. Okay. So then we have match of the year.
Okay.
And with match of the year, I have, and I didn't want to double up. So I'm not doing, if there's like Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins is number 1, but we're not doing 2 different Cody Rhodes. So I got Hell in a Cell, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. That's my first one. Then I have Gunther versus Sheamus at Clash at the Castle.
Okay.
Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson, which you probably don't even remember. There's a Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara ladder match, and then anything that wants to be written in can be written in.
Okay.
Male Superstar of the Year, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, MJF, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jon Moxley, or other.
You didn't say my man.
Who?
Brock Lesnar.
I mean, write him in.
All right, let's go.
Female Superstar of the Year, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, Britt Baker, or Ronda Rousey, or other.
Good list.
I think, and yeah, throw one in if you have a name that you think should have been on there. Feud of the Year. This is something that extended longer than like one or two
episodes.
matches.
Yeah.
FTR versus the Briscoes, that's a pretty IWC thing, but I followed it a little bit. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, Gunther versus Sheamus, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, MJF versus CM Punk, and Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
Okay.
So those work.
I've already got all my votes already.
Then we have Tag Team of the Year. We have the New Day, the Acclaimed, FTR, the Usos, RK Bro, or the Young Bucks.
Love RK Bro.
Okay. And then we have Best Faction / Group of the Year is Damage Control, the Elite, the Brawling Brutes, the Bloodline, the Blackpool Combat Club, Toxic Attraction, or other.
I like it. Good
So
list.
those are our list. So I'll start putting those polls up this week. We'll get the votes and we'll announce winners next week. And we can
All right,
next week
perfect.
we'll talk about why we picked who we picked
Yeah, for
as
sure.
well.
I'm excited.
And how they won.
I already want to say all my answers.
All right, let's talk about a couple of current events before we get out of here.
All right.
We have I will do current events for about 5 minutes and then we'll do 20 questions.
All right, let's go.
All right, so SE Scoops is reporting that Sasha Banks is going to appear at New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle something 17 or something
Okay,
like that.
cool.
So, question, is she done with WWE?
I don't know. She's still under contract, though.
I don't think so. I think that this is Triple H playing the appease Sasha Banks game. Probably said, you want something big, we'll let you go over to New Japan Pro, do something, and that'll build you all this momentum coming back. I could even see, like, with this tease of Asuka changing, I could see Sasha
Something between
Banks
them two.
going to New Japan Pro and Asuka showing up and attacking her and having
In her new character?
well, and actually having a WWE match just in New Japan Pro.
True.
So-
This is a dumb question. Where's New Japan Pro? Is it in Japan?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know
Okay.
where the shows.
I don't know.
I believe a lot of the shows are in Japan, but I don't know if there is a leg that extends into the United States or if
Yeah.
they do some
Or, like,
shows.
they have to all go to
I
Japan.
don't think so. I think that it's actually all in Japan. That's a good question. Someone will answer that for us.
Yeah.
Someone will call us stupid first.
I said it was a stupid question.
But
I didn't know.
this is how the comment section works. There will be 3 assholes who come in and talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be one legitimately like smart
Nice person gives me
who
my
will come in
answer.
and give us a legitimate answer, educate us because it says casual
know.
wrestling everywhere on the show. So there will be one person who comes in, understands that we are asking a legitimate question. They will answer it in this like profoundly positive way. And then that person will become someone that I respond to and the other will go block, block, block.
This will become the chicken of the sea moment for me.
What does that mean? Is
Jessica Simpson.
Okay.
Duh.
Let's see. We have AEW's key demo is rising, but the rest of the ratings are falling. That's easy. They're doubling down on
Who they've decided their basement
yeah,
floors.
on I mean really like the basement IWC.
Yeah.
They're doubling down when you have Moxley come out on television and yell, "This is a wrestling company. We're a wrestling company." And then you have Jericho making fun of sports entertainment on a weekly basis and it looks like you're featuring Ring of Honor all the time. And more than likely, I think Claudio's going to beat Jericho, which means we're going to go back to a boring Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
That's what you get, guys. Like when you double down on this booking style, that's what you're going to get. The best of 7 thing, not working.
Well, because everything we just said that we want wrestling to bring back is everything
It's the
they're not
opposite
doing.
of, yes, it's what AEW doesn't do. And it looks to me like, I know we're only 1 week in, but MJF didn't really move the needle. Ricky Starks moved the needle a little bit. But even then, as big of a moment as that was, the ratings didn't really fluctuate. Now we'll get to see next week. And I know Tony Khan came out and said there was like cable provider issues and 30 million people couldn't watch the show. We'll see next week.
Cable provider issues.
But so look,
I'm just kidding. I
but,
don't
but
know.
no. I'm with you because here's the problem. When you come out and say that shit, Next week better be better. Because if it's not, you can't keep saying cable providers.
Yeah.
One thing that's wrong with like AEW, there's no through line in the show. Like you could clip out every match. So like WWE the other day, Monday Night Raw,
like there's no flow to it?
The poker kind of
Okay,
it,
I know what you're saying.
weaved the
Yes.
show, and you kept watching.
It all feels like different shows every match.
It just feels like here's a match. There's no reason once your favorite. It's why it works for me, right? Once MJF is gone, I can start fast forwarding.
Yeah.
Because I'm done seeing what I want to see, and now I'm just gonna, for context, watch the rest of the show so I can talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Oh, Lacey Evans got pissed off because she's
In real
trying
life?
to. Yes, this is real life.
Okay.
I wish it wasn't. She's trying to promote a bunch of mental health awareness stuff, which is
Like
great. That's fine.
legitimately, or
Yes.
Okay.
Once again, real life, legitimately. And so I guess she's trying to raise money and do some things. And as in typical internet fashion, when you do something good, nobody fucking responds.
Yeah.
But then she went on to post a picture of herself with her whole body hanging out.
Yeah.
On top of a car, and it got like 1 million views, and it went viral and shit. And then somebody mentioned that to her, and she was like, "It's bullshit that like if I hang my tits out and sit on a car and talk about like your wife won't like this photo, that I get all this attention. But when I talk about mental awareness, nobody pays attention." Hey man, that's the internet.
Here's an idea, Lacey Evans. Put your titties out and talk about mental health awareness.
But nobody's gonna pay attention. That's the problem, right? Is like you're told
like this, maybe.
You're told like all this shit, but attention seekers, they can't be surprised when they get attention.
No.
You post that picture,
I agree.
You're gonna get negative attention. What you just
Don't
said.
post the fucking picture then if you don't want it to be
But
like
here's
that.
the problem. Your immediate response was the same thing that I say is the wrong response. Is thinking that if you don't put the hard work in, if you just go, here's my titties, do what I want you to do, guys don't respond to that. They just go, let me look at your titties and not do what you told me to do. If you want mental health awareness, you're going to have to put in a lot of work to get people to pay attention and help them understand why.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't just like this idea. There's this weird in 2022 idea that women think like, I can use my body to make people do something else, and it's not that, right? Guys are dogs. They're gonna fucking.
Mark Henry saying like he does tons of stuff behind the scenes, and like when he went to AEW, he was excited because they were gonna let him just kind of do like charity and stuff like that. So he puts in a lot of work to do it. So she can't expect just to do it one time and then everybody be like, okay, let's go, Lacey.
Yeah.
Plus, her fucking character confuses the shit out of me.
This is the problem with me too, right?
That's why I was like, are you talking about real life or like pretend?
That's what I just said. She's in the midst of a character change.
Yeah.
And I think she's trying to go from heel to babyface.
Because I
then
think
don't go heel on Instagram.
her like life story that she told on the show was like her real life story, right? Or was that made up too? I don't understand.
It was.
Even if it
She's
was
like a strong
she's
mom.
been through some shit, right? And I understand that, and you probably have a large platform to talk about stuff, but you do have to put in the work.
But
for
this is
people to
also
listen.
consistency, right?
And then you start off at a small level and you work your way up until you build whatever it is that you're trying to get people to do.
Yeah, but it's a consistency problem. How about build your character up to where people give a shit who you are on wrestling and then promote the mental health awareness stuff off of that character, right?
Yeah.
But what you can't do is you can't be turning babyface and then go 100% heel on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't turn against the last couple people who are still on your fucking side. Like, I think this is the shovel that fucking just buries her. I think that WWE may even kind of panic and go, she might be a little bit of a loose cannon.
Not just wrestlers, but celebrities in general. Sometimes they need to learn how to just shut up and not like give in.
Not get so upset. You posted the picture.
Yeah.
You got the attention you were looking for.
Yeah.
Now, it's with this show. And this last thing before we do 20 questions. I know what content, like if I talk about Dominic Mysterio and I say something shocking, I know that when I post that clip to TikTok, the numbers are going to roll, right? Because I know it's shocking. That Dominic Mysterio is my version of pulling my titties out.
Yes.
That's what it is, right? But then I can't be mad when I go on some side tangent and talk about like Gunther and his technical prowess, and I post that on TikTok and nobody responds. I can't go, oh, you guys only listen when I talk about, like, I know what I'm doing. She knows what she's doing. That's the way the internet works, and it's worked that way for a long time. Let's do 20 questions. We're almost out of time
Alright.
here.
Okay.
Okay, so
Is it
20
Raw?
questions. No.
SmackDown.
Yes.
Okay.
If it's not Raw,
Okay.
it's SmackDown.
Well,
but
give me
go
that
ahead.
one back.
Nope.
Okay,
Two
fine.
questions. That's two.
Is it a man?
Yes.
Okay. Does he have hair?
Yes.
Is it blonde hair?
No.
Is he African American?
No.
Is he white?
Yes.
Does he have a partner?
No.
Okay. Is his hair like longer than here?
Yes.
Okay. Is he buff? Like big?
Yes. That's 10.
Okay. Did he used to wear suspenders?
Yes.
Madcap Moss.
Damn, you got there fast.
Damn.
How did you get there so fast?
Because it's my beautiful brain.
Was it because we talked about him?
No, it's just that long hair. I thought about people who had long hair than buff people, then suspenders were on my mind.
Feels like there's more than just Madcap that are long
I
haired
don't
and buff.
know.
Like
It's
you
my
went straight-
ADD brain. Just
I
went
think it's because we talked about him in today's episode that he was
I'm
like
just
in the
that
front
smart.
of your
Damn.
brain. Well, hey, a fast 20 questions for an episode that we needed to get over with.
I like it.
Yeah. So next week we'll do the awards.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of the big theme of next week, and then we're in Christmas. I don't know if we'll do an episode Christmas week. We'll talk.
We'll
about
touch
that
on
and decide.
our what's it called later. Our
What's
drop the belt.
We need to
Even
do
then
a
I
drop
will.
the belt video, especially so we're coming into the last week. It looks like Corey's running away with it. I don't think anybody's even close.
I know.
So, but we'll do. Let's
sad a little bit.
Next week. Let's do a big kind of
A recap. And
big
we'll
a big
rehash.
season
Yeah.
recap, and then let's build up and start talking about seriously
Yeah.
how we make season 2 even better. So I do think we're
It was
gonna.
fun.
I got to get a trophy
Okay.
that's gonna go back behind me, and
Let's do it.
The winner. I'm not granting Corey champion just yet.
You got 2 minutes, bro.
I know. So that's it for this week's show. Make sure to tune in every day for more amazing WWE and AEW wrestling content. As always, I am the Notorious Nerdy D. That is Level Up Lauren, and you can ring the final bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, casual wrestling community show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Don't for show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit 'em with a figure 4 leg lock, pile driver or clothesline. We bringing that heat like for show, but you